He's saying, look,
it's out of the question.
I'm this high status guy. He's Andrew Tate, beautiful man,
bald head.
rich, two-time, four-time kickboxing?
Four-time
kickboxing champion. A fucking legend.
No.
But he's not going to be. He's going to have some other ladies.
I'd rather have someone that wasn't in the top 1% than have somebody that was.
I want somebody
sleeping with
who's
other
going to
women.
be for me, like always, not for other people. I'm going to be 100% you. You're
What
going
do
to
you
be 100%
mean by that?
me.
Like, only for you.
Only
like,
for me, meaning when we're together, we're together. Meaning you're not seeking out other people's attention. Meaning you're
Closed
not
on
texting
his
other
end,
people.
closed
It's
on her
closed
end.
on both ends. How it should
Anybody
be.
else want to share? You want to share your alpha?
Yeah. Well, if I was in a relationship with someone who's a high quality man, obviously, I would want to be a high quality woman. Otherwise, I completely would understand that there's not that compatibility. But at the same time, if you say relationship, if you say you're committed to me, then you're committed to me. And if you decide not to be committed to me, then it's not worth the relationship. So I guess that's my take on it.
Maybe I can clarify something really quickly because I see this all the time. And Myron and Fresh have talked about this, and Kevin Samuels have talked about this. Tate talks about this, and I actually brought this up in my fourth book in religion, and it's actually drawn from another book called Alpha God by another evolutionary psychologist, Dr. Hector Garcia. And in there, he states that powerful men, he doesn't use the word high value, he said powerful men throughout history have had three things. They've had resources, number one, they've had access to territory, and they've had exclusive, unique access to a harem of preferably virginic, but not all cultures, preferably young, fertile women. So whether that's the emperor of China in the Forbidden City, or it's the tribal chieftain in the Yanomamo tribe in New Guinea, I think, the theme stays the same for powerful men throughout history. And so therefore, if you want to get with a guy who is the functional equivalent of a powerful man from our past, that there are certain compromises that you're going to have to make if that is the guy that's going to be for you. And the reason we have this conversation right now is exactly what I was saying before, is that women would rather share an alpha than to be saddled with a faithful beta, because women have been brought to a point right now of independence. So they don't need long-term security anymore. They don't need a man. They want a man. Who do they want? They want a guy like Tate. They want a powerful man. Well, when they want that guy comes with compromises now. So if you want to get with the guy who's a tribal chieftain, and by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean that the guy, this is a part that gets confused. I think a lot of red pill guys think it means that you're the top G and you got Lamborghinis and everything else. But you can also find this in Mahatma Gandhi. You can look at it in Carl Jung. You can find the same thing in Dr. Martin Luther King. They all had side bitches. They all had mistresses on the side. They were powerful men. They didn't have the kind of money. Like Mahatma Gandhi was poverty stricken for most of the time he was active, but he had side girls all the time. He was a powerful man doing what he was doing. He just wasn't financially powerful, but he was still made an impact on the world. All those people that I mentioned right there are not necessarily multimillionaires, but they still have access to beautiful women, because that's how it works. And not that women like that, but if they want to get with a guy like that, they have to accept the compromise.
Do all three of you guys agree with that?
to a certain extent.
Well, he's making historical references, then yes. Do you guys remember all the protests that happened when Derek Jeter was fucking Jessica Biel and Jessica Alba and Mariah Carey? Mm-hmm. No, you don't. No one gave a fuck, because he was so high status that no one cared no one cared about all the women that George Clooney went through. Recently, we've seen this pushback with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's just these men were, nobody cared with, no one was like, oh my God, Holly Madison, Hugh Hefner was having sex with other women. No one cared. No one had a problem, because these men were so high status that it just, for whatever reason, and the reason is the reason he's explaining, why King is Solomon or King David had 800 wives. I forget who it was, or yeah, had 800 wives. We didn't bat, because society didn't bat an eye, because they were at such a high status that nobody cared that they were doing those things.
Gandhi kisses little boys.
What the?
Man, we are
Too close,
bro. That was a.
That's what
That's a little
I'm reading.
TOS.
I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat.
I'm reading the chat.
Yo,
Bro.
that's a technical too flagrant. That's
No,
a
no, okay,
that's an
I-
injection
no,
right there.
That's not okay. Okay,
Okay,
don't confuse Mahatma Gandhi with the what's the Dalai Lama. Okay, like stop it. All right, Mahatma Gandhi different than the Dalai Lama.
Okay.
Are you going to answer this
where were
question?
we? I think the,
I taught Andrew Tate everything he knows.
I
That's
love
why
That
I
is
did
true.
So
That is
that
true.
means that you don't care if he sleeps with other women.
If I'm a part of it, no.
Okay. I was just thank you for answering.
Yeah.
so who do, I think you asked a question, or Rolo, you came in to clarify something. Where were we at? Your reaction to the clip? Did you get to go?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I think
Gandhi
Andrew
kisses
Tate-
little boys. That's what you wanted to
No,
say.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
that's not, no. I just wanted to say, I think Andrew Tate is really funny. Like, I kind of fuck with like his ethic. I kind of fuck with it. You know, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think he's funny as shit, and I think
He's funny.
He's up there for a reason. You know, he didn't just like get up there. You know,
You're
I
awesome.
think he's based. I think he's red pilled.
Let's fucking go. Okay. Your reaction to the clip?
She kind of already.
Oh yeah.
did.
I
Oh, you already
kinda
gave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's a right and a wrong, and I think that having sex with more than just your husband or wife is wrong.
Okay. And
Even okay, let me clarify this.
I
Even
think
if
that too.
he like doesn't have feelings for her, so it's just
Yeah.
one night stand.
Yeah, I
he
do.
sleeps with her, and he comes back to you the next day
Yeah.
and loves you, kisses you, pays for everything the same. That's still a problem.
I think that's wrong.
And
yes.
if he hides that from you, that's
even
even a bigger problem.
definitely.
Okay, so now if he comes to you straightforward after that one night stand, says yes, I did fuck this person, would you leave him? And why do you think that?
I don't know. It depends.
Avery,
because
Avery is adorable.
Because I live this life, man. I'm telling you right now, they won't leave you. Space. So the
I
real
can't
problem
say
is
if
deceit.
I would or not.
Now this is two different perspectives because she
Yeah,
hasn't
but she
lived
doesn't
I'm
know
not-
what she
I'm
wants
not
because when she runs into that dude, she's
100%
not going to be able to
disagreeing
leave
with
him. All she's going to do is cry. And so all she can do is use guilt against him, but she's not going to leave him because she's too in love with him. I've seen it too many times. You wouldn't.
So
leave.
she would stay with him.
She would
because-
absolutely stay.
Okay, then
She would
he
stay.
does
I know
prove
for a
my
fact
point.
she would stay.
No, you don't.
And and after a certain age, and you guys get married, he will eventually cheat because there's tons of women in this world, and as he says, you know,
No.
men have higher testosterone than girls, and they need to release that. And the hoe, the side, whatever, like, you know, like all those powerful men had were those people that they released the stress on. So, and obviously as his wife, she knows.
There are people in my life.
Then would you stay? Now let me ask you: would you stay in that relationship still? Why do these women
I think it
continue
would
to
be
stay in
very,
these
very,
relationships?
very hard for me to leave. I'm not doubting that. But do I think that I would stay? It's too broad of a question. But I do think that it would be very, 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 very hard for me to leave.
Yeah, because your dilemma is you're going to leave him for a man that you love less that would cheat on you anyway if he could.
I think it would
So
be
you're talking
filled-
about leaving like a high level guy that is truly there for you emotionally and in every way, knowing that even if you left him
It
for a
would
man
be
that you
so-
love less that was
it would-
trash.
you don't think that
Hear
would
me
be
out, hear me
unfair to
out.
me?
Hear me out. You're going to leave him for a man you love less, right? More than likely, if you're that in love with him, who would cheat on you anyway if he could, because a lot of men use the fact that they can't get other women for loyalty. And I think women make the mistake of believing that.
I guess
You wouldn't leave.
I would never marry somebody that had that idea.
You would
It's-
marry somebody and you knew it was in your mind. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you genuinely fall in love with a man, you're not going to be able to help it. And one thing that I think is really important about this is if he set you down and told you the truth, you would respect that much more than a coward that did it behind your back.
Of course,
I would not
and that's
marry
what I
somebody
say-
and
that's why I
commit
say-
myself to somebody that was okay with sleeping with another woman. I would never be okay with that.
Now, if he directly told you,
I didn't
right
say you'd
after-
be okay with it. I said you would stay.
Yeah, those are two different things.
That's
the
a good
the other
point.
thing is, and let's make this because he alluded to this kind of. Your boyfriend has string arms. That doesn't make him a peaceful man. That means that he's a weak man and he chooses to not get in fights because he's going to get his ass kicked. That doesn't make a peaceful man is a man that can conduct massive amounts of violence and chooses not to. And because your man doesn't cheat because he's unattractive doesn't make him a faithful man. He's not cheating on you because he can't find other women, and you need to determine which is which, because oftentimes, ladies, you don't until it's too late, and then you break up with him because you realize you didn't get a faithful man. You got a man who had no options.
Yeah, I've loved your guys' message until this point. I do not agree with it.
Now, why
It's
is
completely
that?
okay.
Now, why
We're
is
not
that?
telling you it's
okay.
morally okay. What
Yeah.
we're telling you is most likely you would stay because most women would
Yeah,
stay.
and
would
I
absolutely
I can
stay.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
would,
agree that I would
unfortunately, and you would
absolutely-
hate it, but you would stay.
No, let me put it in perspective. So what they're trying to say is that this man is providing for you. Like, as in, he pays for everything, the lights to turn on, the food that you're eating, and everything.
I would also
right?
say not just financially, like emotionally
And
and every way.
emotionally
Like
too,
truly,
yes.
like your person.
Of course, and he rubs you and he loves you the same. But it's just the one day that he, messes with another girl, and he told you straightly that I did.
That sounds
then
like
what
it
is
would
gonna
be
happen in that
mental
end?
torture.
Exactly,
to deal
because
with
he
that.
put you, he
probably
put you in
so.
a position.
Because the commitment is not there. Like,
Oh, the commitment's there.
No, it's
No,
not
yeah,
there.
it is. Yeah,
No, it's
you're
not.
you're tying sexual exclusivity to commitment, but men that have to do that, more than likely, you won't want that man.
You're his highest concubine.
Now,
that's
in the beginning of this podcast,
I need to
did
stand up
say,
for women here.
Now, in the
That is
beginning of
terrible.
this podcast, I did say
Concubine.
he will cheat on you because of a certain amount of things. Now, it feels like in a relationship, as I said, you have to lean. It's a scale. Now, if a guy or person or girl invests too much, obviously they have that will of, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm paying for this person. This person is obviously on lock with me. And I can do whatever I want because I can. And you are going to be sitting at home scared to death that one day he is going to cheat on you. And you're going to have that constant fear in your head,
It's
even
definitely
after
a
marriage.
conversation had before. It's not like we're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's okay if you cheat on me.
Of course,
No,
but
my
that's why-
God.
that's
you
why
know,
you
my
have to
problem
put
my
the-
problem with it is though
That's why-
is calling it
Stuff
cheating
for
at
this
all.
shit.
Like, because a man should be honest about it. It's the fucking cowards that I think I have a
Of
problem
course.
with. It's the
Yeah.
dude that's too scared to tell you to your face.
Yeah.
That is
That's
cheating.
every girl I see watches every podcast I do.
Aspen, let me
I
see
don't
if I
live
can
in- I
give
don't
you a
live in
little
the
bit of
dark.
hope in this hopeless situation here. So in July, I will have been married for 27 years.
Damn.
I've never brought another woman in. Don't clap. I'm
Rolo's
just
an
doing what I'm supposed to do. all right?
Not every man's like Rolo.
So here's the thing: is when it comes to infidelity, and this is men and women, but in the case, since we're talking about men here, men cheat for two reasons, there's two factors are involved when men cheat. Okay, opportunity, which we were just discussing, and a reason. Okay, most men today are overweight. 75% of guys are overweight. A good 30% of those guys, 35% of those guys are morbidly obese. He's 100%. Walk through any major airport right now and you will see just how optionless, just by looking at these guys, that these guys are not going to cheat because they have no one wants to fuck these guys. Okay, simple as that.
Exactly.
The second
Hey,
part of
looks
this.
looks like he watched after all.
Yeah. There's your $100. Is that the payment? And then the second part of this is that is a reason. Okay, a lot of guys have a reason to cheat. They just don't have any opportunity to cheat. Nobody wants to bang them. Okay. Then there's guys like me who have plenty of opportunity, but my wife gives me no fucking reason to cheat. Okay. So when I come on a show like this, you know what we do every other week, right? I'm going places. My wife trusts me implicitly, and I have respect for my wife as well. It is closed on her end and closed on my end, and that's the way it's been for coming up on 27 years right now. So people in the red pill will say, "Oh, Rolo's red. He's red pill. He can't be married, or he can't be married because he's red pill." Right? They don't know. I'm confusing to them. That's why I get in trouble with sons of bitches like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro and Lauren Chen, because they don't know my background. They have no clue what they're talking about. 90% of the people who are critics of the red pill simply don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
So when I am out there and I'm talking about this stuff, people want to, like, for instance, I've been married longer than Ben Shapiro. I've been married longer than Matt Walsh. I've been married longer than 90% of people.
Shapiro
And I'm
can't
very
pleasure
much in
his
love.
wife.
And before we came out here, I knocked it out with my
longer
wife.
than Steven Crowder. Longer than Steven Crowder.
Well, no, yes, actually, longer than Steven Crowder. But again, but see, when I say that, it sounds like a flex. I'm not trying to flex, and that's why I said don't clap, okay? Because that's just the way my relationship works. It doesn't work the same way that theirs, and it's a lifestyle choice that I happen to be in, and I will, be happy. I'm happy where I'm at, where it's at. So it's not a lack of opportunity. It's a lack of a reason, because my wife takes care of me sexually and in every other sense as well. So it's not, well, I'm not in a polythrouple. I'm not in a fucking, open relationship. I know it sounds odd. I hope it makes a comeback someday, but it's closed on my end and it's closed on her end. You know what else? She doesn't advertise on fucking OnlyFans or Instagram or whatever. You can go, it frustrates the fuck out of my haters because they go and they try to find my wife on OnlyFans or they try to find her on fucking Instagram or Facebook. She simply doesn't have social media. That's it. So you can stop looking. Okay?
I can appreciate that they're disclosing that to their wives or significant others or whatever, but I think pushing that message will harm society and not.
The problem is, okay,
it.
so and then now I'll take issue with that. The reason why it won't harm society is because what they're doing is just in response to what the sexual marketplace has become right now. As I said, everybody here says, men ain't shit. I got to go get my bag. I got to go and have my long-term security. These guys are worthless. They are either abusers, they are incompetent, or they're like doofy Homer Simpson guys. Those are your choices. So for the last 3 or 4 generations, we have turned women into the men that they wanted to marry in the first place because they become strong, independent women because they had to be, because they can't rely on men to do what Justin is saying, right? So what happens is that changes the sexual economy, that is the sexual marketplace. And what happens is this is just a reaction to the market, to stresses that are in an economy. So right now, I'm a freaking dinosaur when it comes to fucking to marriage, because I'm the last of a dying breed right now because the economy, the sexual economy has changed.